Kansas City favored by 10, everybody. So, Stephen A., are the Browns more likely to get blown out or to keep it close?
To get blown out. Now, I'm not predicting it's going to be a blowout. I'm not predicting it's going to be a blowout, but I'm just saying when you're going to ask me, if I had to take my money, this is how I'm answering the question, Ryan. If I had to take my money and put it on the table, and you only got two choices, all right, close game or a blowout, I'm going to say a blowout for this reason. I fully understand that the Browns running game, you move the chains, you keep the ball out of Patrick Mahomes' hands, you can make things happen because they're the top 3 rushing attack in the National Football League. I get that. My belief, Max, is this. The Kansas City Chiefs are going to remember how they gave up those leads. How they surrendered big leads early in the playoffs last year, and then they ended up having these heroic comebacks, dropping 41 straight points on the Houston Texans, coming back on the Tennessee Titans. That's what they're going to remember. What I'm saying is this year, they ain't doing that. They're going to come out guns blazing. And what they're going to do is they're going to put Cleveland on their heels. And then Cleveland is going to have to either exercise patience or they're going to hit the panic button because this dude, Patrick Mahomes, is like coming out of the woodwork, wreaking havoc, and we already in the hole, so we're going to have to put it in Baker Mayfield's hands and throw the football. I think Kansas City is scoring a touchdown on their first 2 possessions. Their first 2 possessions, they score a touchdown. And all of a sudden, that's what it's going to turn into. Now, it could be a shootout like they had against the Baltimore Ravens in the regular season when they lost 47-42, if I remember correctly, something like that. Right? But I don't see that happening. I see ultimately Kansas City pulling away because Patrick Mahomes and those boys come out flinging it all over the place against a suspect defense in Cleveland, meaning a suspect secondary, because with Garrett and those boys going after the passer, I know that they can make life difficult. But I just see it being one of those things where potentially, they can run away with it. If I had to pick between the two, I'm going to say it's Kansas City running away in the second half.
It's Kansas City close, much more likely. And by the way, you can score in 60 seconds, and it can take the other team 6 minutes. But in the end, if you're both scoring touchdowns, what difference does it make, And here's the thing. The Browns, first of all, Baker Mayfield's a capable thrower of the football. We've seen it. He has to be, like most quarterbacks, he has to be in the right situation. Mahomes doesn't have to be. That's why Mahomes is one of the most special quarterbacks who ever lived, if not the most special. But Baker's like most other guys. In the right situation, most other good quarterbacks, in the right situation, he can throw it, and he's shown it, and he can. And he can do it under pressure. Here's the other thing, though. Forget about style of play for a second. The Browns just put 48 up on the Steelers' defense. 48. And that they doubled their previous total against the Steelers from the very previous game because they played them in consecutive games, end of the regular season in the playoffs. They put up 24. And by the way, in recent games, they had a very tough and close loss to Baltimore, and they beat the Titans. Now, they have quality wins, and they're capable of putting up points when they need to, and they're capable of playing defense when they need to, and the style of play might bode well for them. But here's the other thing about the Chiefs. I put their schedule up in front of me. I can tell you off the top of my head, they blew out the Chargers and the Jets, right? November 1st, they blew out the Jets, and then their most recent game, they blew out the Chargers. 2 teams who were so bad that they fired their coaches, right? That's what happened. In between those 2 games, let me just tell you the scores of their games, okay? You tell me if you see a blowout coming. The Falcons by a field goal, the Saints by a field goal, the Dolphins by 2 field goals, the Broncos by 2 field goals, the Bucks by a field goal, the Raiders by 4 points, the Panthers by 2 points. They beat teams by under a touchdown. Every team except the Jets or the Chargers. You think they're going to blow out the Browns the way they're playing? They'll win. It's going to be tough.
See, man, this is the worst part about being a guest on this show, right? You get the rundown, you get your little email, you go do your research, and then Max and Stephen, they get to go first. They take all the good stats, especially Max, because, that's my analytics guy. That's my Warren Sharp guy, right? You take all the analytics, you take all the stats, and then now I just got to come hit y'all with some plain old football knowledge. Because Max is right, Stephen A. When you look at the schedule, when you look at the teams, the team that scores the most points or the team that scored 44 times this year, it's not the Kansas City Chiefs. It's the Cleveland Browns. The quarterback with the most 3 touchdown quarters, it's not Patrick Mahomes, it's Baker Mayfield. Now, we very well could see what we saw when Oklahoma faced Texas Tech, when these two teams played each other, or when these two quarterbacks played each other, and they both just went crazy. But I don't expect a blowout. They haven't had a blowout in the last 8 weeks of the season if you're the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, this is the team that, despite what we say, all the cliches, you can't just hit a light switch, you can't just turn it on. This team can. Why can the Kansas City Chiefs do that? Because of their quarterback. When their quarterback says it's time to play, it's time to win, usually it's time to play and it's time to win. But the Cleveland Browns are made in the way, at least offensively, that you have to be made to beat Patrick Mahomes. He has 9 losses in his career. In those losses, the team averages 35 carries, 160 rushing yards on the ground. What team is better situated to do that than the Cleveland Browns? Kareem Hunt, Nick Chubb, and they also now have a quarterback who, when called upon, when needed to make plays, when needed to carry the team, we've actually seen him do it. And so do I think the Kansas City Chiefs are going to win? Hell yeah. I'm not going to sit up here and say the Cleveland Browns are going to win, but it's not out of the realm of possibility that this is a close game, that this game is tight going into the fourth quarter, that Patrick Mahomes may need some heroics in order to pull it out. The Cleveland Browns are a different football team. They aren't the same old Browns. I think Juju Smith-Schuster found that out. I think Chase Claypool seems to continue to feel that as he says stupid things day by day. The Cleveland Browns are different. The Cleveland Browns are going to come and fight. They love having their back against the wall. They love being faced with adversity. And this year, at least this year, they've been overcoming it.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.